Welcome, carvers and artists alike, to the Carver's Cambium, a place of learning and mentorship, a homegrown family business filled with integrity, perseverance, and artistic freedom. When you arrive, you'll be greeted with open arms, the necessary tools, and an experienced mentor. Discover new techniques and grow as an artist. Feel a sense of pride of learning a new skill and a potential career path. Many students have came and went home with a new understanding of the art form. Meet Narissa Eichinger, a scenic artist from Milwaukee.
Hi, I am Narissa, and I come from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, grew up there, and I fell in love with sculpture working in theater. I'm a scenic artist by trade for a living, and I paint sets for theater productions and kind of fell into sculpting with foam and figured out that I loved it and wanted to start, working on maybe building a career in sculpture and maybe a little bit more permanent. Quarantine happened and allowed for some break in my work, and also theater is not so big right now. And I picked up a chainsaw and started. I realized very quickly, even though I'd worked with a lot of the same tools that you do in wood, that I didn't know what I was doing. It is different, and it has its own set of challenges. So then I decided that I needed to find a teacher and seek out a mentor and someone I could take some lessons with. And long journey, ended up finding Jeff and his website, Northwoods Carver, and then ultimately Cambium workshops. And I feel really, really fortunate. I kind of stumbled on it, and that it's been a huge blessing, because looking at a lot of the other schools or teachers that were available, I wasn't sure that one would be able to work with me and my particular background, which isn't huge in chainsaw or wood, but is huge in artistry. And when I met Jeff, he was so open to talking about where I was coming from and what my particular interests were in wood carving, that it seemed like it was going to be a really good fit. And I decided to do 2 days because I felt like I would be able to get more out of it. Plus he provides a place to stay, which is really nice, and lots of meals and good conversation and all of that. I felt like he did a really good job of gearing all of his teaching to my specific place that I am at already. So we spent a lot of time discussing what my goals and aims are, which might be part-time, but in my mind are heading towards full-time or professional. Establishing where my art skills were, where my being able to see things three-dimensionally abilities were. Really deciding that I came here to learn how to work, but then found out that there was so much more that I could get from someone who's already working about what works conceptually, and your different ways of achieving certain builds and sculpture. And it really just seemed like he could take what I had to give and mold it, and it's been super exciting. But number one on there was learning how to work with equipment. And I've had some background, obviously, in sculpting, but I really wasn't confident yet with all the safety, and I also didn't realize how important all of the mechanics were. So a big chunk of our time was spent breaking down the mechanics and safe use of all of the chainsaws and a bunch of other equipment. And now I feel confident in being able to take apart and troubleshoot a chainsaw, how to maintain it, dress it. A lot of little details that I didn't have in my pocket that I do now, that I feel like are going to help me long term. That is one of the biggest things I'm taking away from spending time here, and totally worth it. And just kind of he is removing a big chunk of learning time out of my path, and so that I can learn from his wisdom and his mistakes and not have to learn the hard way. So for me, it's just been hugely worth it, and I do view it as an investment because I believe I will be really turning into a career and a path and a profession. I know that it's going to come back to me tenfold. I really appreciate that Jeff saw an opportunity with me as a student. Looking at some of the other classes, other teachers that were available, when I discussed with him what my background was, I wasn't sure at that point in time that I really had something that a teacher would want to work with, and he saw a possibility for me, which has given me a lot of confidence, and especially in fine-tuning and really just taking the lessons and seeing what he could offer to add to the package that was already there. I super appreciate, and him believing in me has made a huge difference. But one of the things that I came in not realizing I was going to take away from spending time here and from the workshops was, if my goal is to become a professional artist, part-time if not full-time, is building a brand, building a business. What will that look like? What will working with clients look like? Going to events, competing as a possibility. All of that has been included in the time that we've spent together and discussing. And he's, willing to put a lot of special attention into that area as well, if that is what I decide I want to do. And I feel like that's a huge connection and resource for someone who's already done that for themselves to offer, their knowledge and experience and wisdom for and then the icing on the cake, myself having come from an artistic background, is not that I didn't have anything to learn artistically, but that he is really advanced and experienced and knowledgeable in a realm of art that I'm just jumping into. He can help me take my abilities and talents that much further. And we had so many amazing discussions about, composition and dynamicism and really what makes a great concept, what is appealing to the eye, what clients are looking for, what makes something a higher quality. And those are all things that I want to include in my work and aim to niche products. And I really appreciate having another artistic mind to pull those things out of me. So that has been, without a doubt, the creme of the creme of one of the things I'm taking away from here. I've had a really good time. I continue to have a good time. I'm going to keep coming back. I'm super excited and feel quite privileged to be a student of Jeff's up here at the Cambium workshops.
DW Log Mill is a business run by an Amish family and has been running for 5 years. They provide us the logs he needs to create his art. They've helped us on many projects and gave us the opportunity to do such ambitious projects. They offer a variety of different species of wood and sell lumber in many different forms, such as beams, boards, whole logs. Anything our future projects need, they have. It comes down to Jeff looking through each log and deciding which one suits his needs. He examines many of the log's features, seeing if they are usable. Having past experience working in the tree service, he can pinpoint a tree species by observing the bark, leaves, and scent. Once he's made his decision, they prepare the logs to be loaded. Using a skid loader, they lift the logs off the ground and set them on the trailer. Once put in place, he straps them down securely, preventing possible accidents while driving. On the way back from the log mill, Jeff and his family discuss ideas as to where to put it in their plans relating to the carving. As they make their way home, their minds wander in possibility of what could be. And this is just the beginning. Wood carving is a unique form of artistry and self-expression that will live on for a very long time. The question is, who will keep that alive? Who will pass the chaps on to the next generation? That answer is one word: you. Bring your passion. Bring your love of art and creation to Carver's Cambium and bring your vision into 3 dimensions. See you there.